Hey folks, welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. I've got two Bearface whiskey expressions, both from the Wilderness series tonight, guys, and we're going to check these out. I've got the Bearface Wilderness Series number 1, Matsutake, and I've got the Bearface Wilderness Release 3, Wild Air. So go watch the intro, come on back, we'll go through these two and see which one prevails. Stick around, guys. Well, hey folks, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and like I said, I got two expressions here from Bearface Canadian Whiskey's Wilderness Release. I've got the Bearface Wilderness Release number 1, Matsutake, over here, and I've got the Bearface Wild Air Release number 3 over here. And I've already got them poured out here. We're going to go through them together and see which one prevails in this shootout here. I was lucky enough to get a bottle of Bearface Wild Air Release number 3 from the folks at Bearface, so they were nice long to send this over to the channel for me to take a look at. I've done a formal review on it, and then my friend Miriam was nice enough to send me a small sample here of the long discontinued Wilderness Release Series number 1, Matsutake. But very cool, and I'm glad she sent this over to me, and I was really excited to shoot these two out. So what can I tell you guys about each release here? We'll start off over here with the Bearface Wilderness Release number 1, Matsutake. So it comes in with an ABV stamp of 42.5% ABV. It is matured in ex bourbon casks and finished in a cask containing foraged Matsutake mushrooms from British Columbia. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Very interesting. And then we've got the Bearface Wilderness Release number 3 over here, the Wild Air Release, 42.5% ABV again, matured in birch charred ex Viognier, hopefully I said that right, wine casks, and then proof with maple tree water, and finished in ex maple syrup brulee casks, which I can assume is casks that used to contain maple syrup that have a bit of a char on them there. At least that's what I'm assuming. And both these whiskeys coming from Bearface are elementally aged, so they're put in, instead of using standard rick houses, they take and put their casks into shipping containers, and they just kind of put them out amongst the Canadian wilderness there, and just let the elements let them age in the elements. So, you know, temperatures vary, cold, freezing, hot, all that jazz. Very, very cool indeed. And I believe they're both single grain corn whiskeys from Bearface, as most of their standard releases are. But again, these are special bottlings of them, and different caskings and interesting stuff. Obviously, you've got some foraged mushroom maturation kind of stuff going on over here, and then you got some more wilderness focused mossy bit over here. But you know what, let's dive into it, because I'm dying to try this one here. Let's get into the number 1 release. I've never tried this, so it'll be a first impression for me also, but we'll see what we can pick up on whiskey that had mushrooms in it. So Bearface Wilderness Release number 1, Matsutake, on the nose. Very interesting. So again, ex bourbon cask, and then they put it into a cask with foraged mushrooms in there, Matsutake mushrooms from British Columbia. I don't know what the cask was. Maybe it was ex bourbon, maybe it was ex Canadian whiskey, I'm not sure, but they got them in there, and there really is an earthy tone to it, almost like a yeasty, almost like a rubbery note to it as well. And then behind that, you can get those bourbon notes, that vanilla, coffee, caramel, a little bit of lemon and citrus in there too, but very, very heavy and prevalent. At the very, very front is this funky kind of mushroom, earthy, rubbery kind of note to it. I can't really explain any better than that. I mean, if you didn't tell me it was mushrooms, I think I would probably call it a barnyard or a field or an industrial kind of flavor to it there. But knowing that mushrooms were used in it, I would definitely say you got a mushroom character into it. Oh, great, interesting. All right, let's check out the palate on this Wilderness Release number 1 from Bearface Canadian Whiskey. So cheers to your health, and let's get into it. Very interesting. Very funky, bready, earthy, rubbery, dare I say mushroomy. Anyways, on the palate there. Behind that, you're kind of standard, it's not very much of a standard deviation from a regular bourbon cask maturation corn whiskey, or matured corn whiskey. I'm getting the vanillas, caramels, I'm getting some cereal notes in there, I'm getting some kind of bready notes in there too. Going for another sip of this Matsutake release number 1, Matsutake mushrooms here from Bearface. Release 1 from the Wilderness series. It's just so funky. I can't get past that. It's just so earthy and rubbery, and it just has this very interesting profile. Adds a neat character to it for sure. Do I like it? I'm not really sure. It's kind of interesting. It's just very interesting. Now I'm getting a bit of a salty component on the back end there, and in between, very much a standard profile for any run-of-the-mill bourbon corn whiskey. All right, let's move over to the Bearface Wilderness release number 3, the Wild Air release. I believe you can still get this in the LCBO. It was just released this year, so this one here is still available. Well, this one is discontinued, and you can only get it in little sample reused bottles here from folks that that were lucky enough to come across one in their travels. But yeah, it's just a reminder on this one here, matured in Birch Charred X Viognier wine casks, proof with maple tree water, finished in X maple syrup brulee casks. On the nose. Nose much sweeter. We're getting some vanilla on there, some pine resin, maybe some moss and some rocks and whatnot. Then I'm getting some sharp notes of sharp citrus, lemons mainly, and then there's some sweetness to it there. You get that maple syrup kind of character. Some dark brown sugars, burnt caramel notes in there. But then at the start, it's really got that prevalent, almost like a pine, resinous pine kind of thing going on there. All right, let's get on the taste of let's go on the palate. See what we can get out of the taste on the Wilderness series, release number 3, Wild Air from Bearface Canadian Whiskey. Let's go again. Cheers to your health. Number 2. Release 3, actually. Much more sweeter, more palatable. Doesn't have as much funk or that interesting kind of character as much as the Matsutake does, but it is very good. It does have a much more sweeter profile. If you like maple syrup finished whiskeys, I think you'll like this one. It's just got this kind of interesting kind of mossy pine resin. Out for a hike kind of thing there. It's kind of boggy. It's got a little bit of salt on it there, a little bit of pepper on there too, and then you got that vanilla and maple syrup character. One more sip. Again, both at 42.5% ABV. Both got lots of interesting stuff going on for them. Both are distinctly Canadian. The mushroom one is very much out there, but I think if you want something funky, I think you need to go with that one. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna kind of go give you my final thoughts and opinions and kind of who's the real winner in this one. I am gonna go with the Bearface Wilderness Series number 3, and I'll tell you why. So number 1, you can still get this one, and I encourage you to go out and try it out. Number 1. Number 2, I think this is much more universally acceptable. If you want something funky, if you want something interesting and different, like really different, a profile that maybe you've never had before, something that is just almost to wow your friends, not to a point of grossing them out or anything like that, but just something to kind of say, hey, if you want to try some whiskey, when whiskey meets mushrooms, what can you get? I think that's something that you would go and seek this one out for. It is very good, and I kind of kick myself for not getting into the other pieces of the Wilderness release, as I think it's an annual release, or maybe every so often they do it out. It's a special limited release anyways, but all I got right now is the Wilderness Series number 3. But yeah, number 1 is good. I would say go out and get number 3. It is a kind of a more staple, but if you want something interesting, funky, and you've never had it before, I'm glad Miriam was nice to send this over for me to take a look at. Definitely at least get a little sniff of this Matsutake Mushroom release number 1 from Wilderness, or Bearface Wilderness series, or Bearface Canadian Whiskey Wilderness Series release number 1, Matsutake. That's always a mouthful. They always pick the longest names from these whiskeys, but anyways. Yeah, very interesting, very neat character. But yeah, if you want something that's kind of more for the masses, definitely go out and check out Bearface Wilderness Series release number 3, Wild Air. I believe you can still get it in the LCBO and where other other liquor stores around Canada and whatnot. Definitely worth picking up if you can find it. And if you like what we're doing here at Seaway Whiskey Wire, you guys know the drill. Like and subscribe down below. And hey, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Seaway Whiskey Wire for more content. And if you're hanging around this long in the video, watch me try out some mushroom infused whiskey against some maple syrup brulee, ex birch bark, and watching me mispronounce wines and all that stuff from and try out some cool Canadian special releases here. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Love making these videos for you guys. Love shooting out some interesting whiskeys here. This was one that I was really looking forward to, and I kind of mentioned it, and Miriam picked up on it. So again, Miriam, thank you so much for sending this over to the channel. And hopefully the package I sent you, it gets to you very soon. So yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. I'm gonna go finish up my little mini dram here of my Matsutake, and then I'm gonna save this one for one of my buddies to try because it's definitely very cool. Take care, guys. All the best, and I'll see you around. Bye for now.